The safest places on Earth in the event of World War III. If a major global conflict, like World War III, were to erupt, some countries would be at far less risk than others due to factors like geographical isolation, political neutrality, lack of strategic targets, and self-sufficiency. Below are the top safest places, explained in depth. Number 1. Antarctica. Antarctica is the fifth largest continent, being about 40% larger than Europe, and has an area of 14,200,000 square miles. Why it's safe. Antarctica is the most isolated and least inhabited continent on Earth. It has no military installations, no strategic infrastructure, and is governed by the Antarctic Treaty, which prohibits military activity. Survival potential. While surviving here is extremely difficult due to the harsh climate and lack of natural resources, any scientific bases, like those run by the US, Russia, or Argentina, are heavily stocked and designed for isolation. Downside. You must already be part of a scientific or military crew to access it, not a practical option for civilians without significant planning and resources. 2. New Zealand. New Zealand is long and narrow, over 1,600 kilometres and 990 miles along its north-northeast axis, with a maximum width of 400 kilometres or 250 miles, with about 15,000 kilometres, 9,300 miles of coastline, and a total land area of 268,000 square kilometres or 103,500 square miles. Why it's safe. New Zealand is geographically isolated in the South Pacific, far from global military alliances or nuclear targets. It has no enemies and often ranks high on the Global Peace Index. Natural resources. Abundant food production, fresh water, and renewable energy sources, like geothermal and hydroelectric power, make it highly sustainable. Civil defence. While it lacks large-scale bunkers, New Zealand's topography, mountains and remote valleys, makes it ideal for hiding and surviving a global catastrophe. Bonus. Even billionaires like Peter Thiel have bought bunkers and land here in case of global disaster. 3. Australia. At 7,688,287 square kilometres, it accounts for just 5% of the world's land area, of 149,450,000 square kilometres, and although it is the smallest continental landmass, it is the world's largest island. Why it's safe? Like New Zealand, Australia is in the southern hemisphere, away from key military targets in Europe, Asia, or North America. Its vast landmass includes remote areas with little to no military significance. Agricultural giant, a major exporter of food, beef, wheat and wine, self-sufficient in energy and water. Challenges. Close ties to the US might make urban areas or military bases potential targets, but the outback regions and Tasmania are much safer. 4. Iceland. Iceland is the world's 18th largest island and Europe's second largest island after Great Britain and before Ireland. The main island covers 101,826 square kilometres, 39,315 square miles, but the entire country is 103,000 square kilometres, 40,000 square miles in size, of which 62.7% is tundra. Why it's safe. Iceland is politically neutral despite being part of NATO. It has no standing army, and its geographic location in the middle of the North Atlantic makes it strategically irrelevant for most global conflicts. Energy and water. 100% renewable energy, hydro and geothermal, and one of the cleanest water supplies in the world. Isolation, volcanic terrain and limited access routes enhance natural defence. 5. Switzerland. Of 41,285 square kilometres, 15,940 square miles, the productive area, i.e. the area without lakes, rivers, unproductive vegetation, and without any vegetation, covers 30,753 square kilometres. Switzerland has a population of 8.9 million. Why it's safe. Switzerland has been neutral since the Congress of Vienna in 1815. Even during World War II, it was not invaded. Its well-prepared civil defence system, including thousands of underground bunkers, is unmatched. Geography. surrounded by the Alps, hard to invade, and offers natural protection. Preparedness. Swiss citizens are trained for emergencies, and nuclear bunkers can accommodate the entire population. Arctic 6. Canada. Total area 9,984,670 square kilometres, the second largest country in the world. Area north of the tree line 2,728,800 square kilometres, over 27% of Canada's total area. Land border 8,890 kilometre border with the United States, the longest international border in the world. Why it's safe? While Canada is a NATO member and close to the US, it has a low population density, vast wilderness, and plentiful fresh water sources. These factors make it a potential survival zone away from urban centres. Self-reliance. Rich in natural resources, especially food, oil, water, and timber. Vastness. Its remote northern regions, Yukon, Nunavut, are nearly inaccessible and far from military targets. 7. The Southern Cone, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay. In most cases, the term Southern Cone refers specifically to Chile, Argentina, and Uruguay due to their geographical, cultural, ethnic, and economic similarities. Area 5,712,034 square kilometres, 2,205,429 square miles. Why it's safe? These South American countries are not involved in major global military alliances and are geographically shielded by the Andes, oceans, and deserts. Food security. Argentina and Uruguay are major exporters of beef and grain. Chile has fresh water and minerals. Political neutrality. Traditionally neutral, with no large military presence and little interest from global superpowers. 8. Bhutan. With a population of over 727,145 and a territory of 38,394 square kilometres, there's 14,824 square miles, Bhutan ranks 133rd in land area and 160th in population. Why it's safe? A small Himalayan kingdom, Bhutan has a strong culture of peace and limited international entanglements. Geographic defense. Surrounded by the Himalayas, difficult to invade or bomb, and has minimal strategic value. Culture of self-reliance. Strong focus on sustainability, agriculture, and gross national happiness, GNH, over GDP. 9. Ireland. The state extends over an area of about 5/6, 70,273 kilometres, or 27,133 square miles, of the island of Ireland, 84,421 square kilometres, or 32,595 square miles, with Northern Ireland constituting the remainder. The island is bounded to the north and west by the Atlantic Ocean and to the northeast by the North Channel. Why it's safe? While part of the European Union, Ireland is not a NATO member and has maintained a position of military neutrality since World War II. Geographic isolation. Located on the western edge of Europe, not a major military target. Agriculture and water. Fertile lands, abundant rainfall, and strong farming traditions mean a good chance of food security. 10. Fiji or Pacific Island nations. Loving country and archipelago in the South Pacific Ocean. It surrounds the Koro Sea, about 1,300 miles, 2,100 kilometres, north of Auckland, New Zealand. The archipelago consists of some 300 islands and 540 islets scattered over about 1 million square miles, 3 million square kilometres. Of the 300 islands, about 100 are inhabited. Why it's safe? These remote island nations are far from global conflict zones and have minimal military or economic targets. Isolation, difficult to reach in times of war, which can be a benefit during global collapse. Challenge, vulnerable to supply chain disruptions and climate events. Site bonus, safe zones within countries. Even within conflict-prone countries, there may be relatively safe areas. Remote mountainous areas, e.g. Appalachians in the US, Carpathians in Europe. Underground bunkers or survival communities. Off-grid homesteads with access to food and water. Instruct. Final thoughts. No place on Earth is guaranteed safe during a global war. especially if nuclear weapons or biological weapons are used. But the places listed above offer the best balance of isolation, neutrality, survivability, and sustainability. If you're preparing for the worst, the key is not just location, but also planning. Stockpile essentials, learn survival skills, understand local laws, build or find a community, stay informed and connected. Would you like help identifying a safe location based on your country or region? Or do you want a map with safe zones marked? Just let me know.